Let's start with a little lesson in history. At first, humans started as a bunch of bipeds who just do three things to survive: food, shelter, and reproduction.
To get resources, you have to compete with others, and in order to do that effectively, you'd have to be physically fit. Almost all that energy is spent on developing the body so you'd have better chances of surviving in the future.
That all changed when humanity decided to develop the brain. It doesn't really make sense. The brain is too squishy and delicate to be used for just fighting competition. So why was it developed?
Human life is at its peak thanks to these seemingly useless organs. Years ago, humans decided that they should not kill each other over resources, and so they decided to have the concept of money. And back to the primitive roots, we won't ever stop needing the basic three. And that's what we're going to teach you today.
Let's start this off with a little fun.
You need to understand that everything you do at the poker table conveys information. You can't be like all loosey-goosey having a sandwich, being on your phone. Woohoo, baby, I love it. There's three basic characteristics that make an elite poker player. One is just a raw skill. The other is a fundamental understanding of the mathematical side. The third part is what I'd call discipline. In this masterclass, I'm going to share things that I've actually never shared before. For example, I look at a guy and say, "You've got King 9.
You're a sick human. King 9.
Well, that's not magic. It's usually based off a combination of things. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you tournament strategy, continuation betting, picking up tells. So this tell has probably made me the most money in classic chip glance tell. You notice that? I see those cards and my brain is telling my eyes, next thing we got to do is bet chips. Most of the time it's totally subconscious. They don't even know they're doing it. Poker is an intellectual endeavor that is totally skill-based in the long run. A lot of people can confuse themselves into thinking that they're losing because of luck when it's actually skill. One of the absolute best ways to learn is to go over a hand in depth in a hand breakdown. I bet 1150 and Alec makes it just 2500. I still think his range can be relatively wide. Now, on the river, you're pretty much down to just two options. Is this a value bet or is this a bluff? There's no such thing as a value bluff, okay? You just didn't know what you were doing. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. Learning nothing from those mistakes is the mistake. When you feel like you've got this game mastered and you've got nothing left to learn, that's the exact point where everyone else starts to surpass you. I'm Daniel Negreanu, and this is my masterclass.
And now, for the actual lesson.
Don't you know you can spend more stuff with your 500 pesos within the week? Instead of spending your money with milk tea, you can spend your money on this. See? They're only 35 pesos that can last for like 3 days for you, 4 days, and you have more change in your money. Please spend your money wisely. Like, see? You can spend this for 50 pesos and it's way more healthier than a freaking milk tea, man. Thank you.
Nowadays, you don't need to be a big eater. You need to conserve your food. Like, not expending it on expensive foods, but you can find in the supermarket cheap ones, like this Mega for only 17 pesos. And it has nutrition facts that has low in calorie, but it is delicious. And that's all. Thank you.
The reality for most Filipinos is we keep spending our money on unnecessary stuff like these. Now I get it. It's the finals, your stress and all of that. But imagine if you could just save 500 pesos of your money in not buying any of this stuff. How much would you buy? In saving, the most important fact you have to remember is canned food. Look at this, for example, it's only 29.43 pesos. But the thing is, you could buy these much cheaper if you keep going to grocery stores. Now, I don't know the markup to be sure with you guys, but I know in some grocery stores, they could have a markup of up to 10 pesos. So it's important that you save and go around and check around for the groceries. First, when you're going to buy food, the cheapest way to do it is to pay it in there. Now, they already have their meals prepared and stuff, so you don't really have to go to the market to buy food. Less than 500, you can even last it for up to a week if you're that 15. Of course, if you want to save a lot more than just going to the supermarket and buying a lot of stuff, you can already have your food pre-made. That's the good thing about carinderias. You don't have to prepare anything, you're gonna waste time. As a student, these are the perfect food to buy from if you're planning to save.
The prospect of money has always been a controversial topic. And with the money comes the famous quote of it being the root of the all evil in 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. Philosophically speaking, is the money is the root of all evil, or it is because the very people that have created this magnificent invention decided to blame it for the malicious incentives of others.
Well, we first have to argue people created the concept of economy and society for the same reason, and that is to bring order. Imagine how hard it would be to buy a pencil without the prospect of money, or how hard it would be to deliver justice without no higher beings. There would be no comparison.
If money was evil, we would have removed it years ago, but we did not. Why is that? Because it's such a great and stable system that we can, and for years, and continue to improve the life of millions of people. Just as long as we know how the proper way to distribute it.
The proper handling of money is very important. It dictates the stability, the crime rate, the cultural and scientific or technological progress. Imagine the world today if more money was spent on cancer research rather than bubatis, would we be in a happier place? It's okay to be greedy sometimes as long as you approach it through science. Thank you.
The thing about business is there's actually a lot of mathematical processes that go inside it. For example, stocks. We don't know it, but we have to take in the negatives. And in stock market, for example, bill stocks, you'll notice that the values can either be negative as in red, or positive and it's still negative. That's what they call the stock market difficulties. And to actually get through these values, you need mathematical knowledge. And to gain mathematical knowledge, you have to actually be exposed to the environment of mathematical knowledge. You have to expose yourself through budgeting, through calculations, through every arithmetic means you can think of.
Importante na ang bawat tao ay marunong magtipid sa pera at mag-ipon ng pera sapagkat sa pagtitipid ng pera at mag-ipon ng pera, nakakapag-invest tayo para sa ating kinabukasan. Kung sakali man na tayo ay magipit or sakaling magkaroon ng emergency, may mapatutunan tayo ng kinakailangang amount ng pera.
Why money management should everybody's concern? It should be everybody's concern, given that money is essential and it is limited, considered as limited resources. And if we do not manage our money well, eventually it will run out and it will not be good for us. How mathematics used in financial and gaining profit. It can be seen clearly on some gamblers and other stuff who do mathematics in their mind. For example, in the video presented before, there's a poker player who analyzes the deck of cards and uses probability as it is mathematics to predict the outcome of the cards. And eventually, he will win the prize.